Video coverage of IT Expo is brought to you by Content Boost, the content marketing specialists. Amplify your sales today.
Hi, Eric Lanask. I'm here in Miami for IT Expo 2014. On the program with me today is Craig Spann from Reeve Systems. Craig, thanks for joining me. Good to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
One of the trends that we've been talking about already in this short week so far has been just the growth of mobility and what the industry is experiencing in terms of mobility, and also some of the needs that the market is demanding and responding to, both in terms of mobility. What are you seeing at Reeve?
Well, we see a lot of customers that have been focused on a particular piece of the industry, wholesale providers or retail providers, looking to kind of diversify a little bit, get into another segment, just because it's been more and more challenging to succeed in their particular segment. So we've tried to adapt our strategy and our solutions towards kind of expanding the potential market segment for these customers, for these service providers. So we want to make sure that we can provide what service providers need in kind of diversifying their solutions.
And I think that's very much in line with what we're seeing in almost every segment of technology and communications, is just broadening of portfolios, less specialization, more, not necessarily generalization, but just diversification, I think was the word you used. So what specifically are you seeing your service provider customers asking for?
Okay, so as an example, a wholesale provider who's maybe just pushing minutes, or possibly a calling card provider who's been focused just on that segment. With the competition and some of the shrinking profit margins, they need to be able to hold on to customers in a different way. So we've kind of adapted our solutions to be able to get them into that new segment. Some of our mobile applications are taking what they do well and giving them a solution for that, and then as well as providing something as part of that to help them maybe move into that retail market. So calling card provider, where maybe they were limited to just providing services for access numbers and people who are off data, now we're giving them an ability to capture customers who are on Wi-Fi or using their data, and try to give them two options, so they kind of maintain control of the customer throughout, and that's been very well received and important, I think, in this time.
Do you see a difference based on geography in terms of what service providers are needing to offer their retail customers?
Yeah. We do. Generally, it goes back to what we were talking about, in that everybody wants to diversify in one way or the other.
Sure.
It's a matter of how they need to do that. And so, it's not just South America, North America difference. I mean, you see differences in terms of what's needed on a country-by-country basis. And so, market intelligence is a big part of our growth in 2014, is understanding what particular customers in particular regions on a very granular level need, and that's important. And just like the flip side of being a general, offering a general solution, you need to be able to provide them a specific answer so that they can broaden their portfolio. So it's not a one-size-fits-all, and that's been, I think, the key to our growth and success.
So, at the risk of trying to force you into a generalized answer,
sure.
A lot of emphasis here at IT Expo in Miami on the Latin America region.
Yeah.
How would you describe sort of the requirements and the needs and the penetration in Latin America compared to North America?
Okay, so in Latin America specifically, we see, and we see some of this in Europe as well, MVNOs are becoming more and more popular. They have been popular, but as they become popular, then more and more companies are trying to get into this, and you need some sort of differentiator. So an MVNO, if they can provide something that somebody else is not providing, then they're able to kind of get ahead in this tightening market. So the MVNO piece is very big in Latin America versus North America. But again, it's just it's understanding that it's not going to work in every country down there. So we've seen different solutions for Brazil versus Colombia versus Argentina. And we've done our work down there. We've traveled down to the region, and we're picking up contacts within region so that we get that kind of feet on the ground intelligence to be able to specifically tailor our solution towards them.
How does the fact that Brazil, for instance, has an upcoming global scale event coming, how does that impact what service providers there are looking to do and what they have to do?
I mean, it's a great example because these providers see this as a huge opportunity, and we need to react now so that they have a solution for when the World Cup actually does take place. So what we're doing is we're taking our existing application, in addition to offering the different types of services like I'm talking about, and find ways for companies to market as part of the application. So we're a voice solution provider, but voice by itself is not enough anymore, and we've realized that. So it's our foundation and our expertise and our core competency is voice, but we really look at it as a piece of a bigger puzzle. And part of that is kind of leveraging the upcoming World Cup to be able to market to customers that are coming down there and to try to get their name out. This is a perfect opportunity for them to really do that marketing push, and our solution, our applications can help them do that.
Does an event like the World Cup really have the ability to advance the Latin America region in terms of technology as a whole?
Sure, because you have people that are coming from all over the world, and seeing what is happening in that region, and then maybe taking that back to where they're from. Getting some exposure for, say, a Brazilian company that's just been doing business in Brazil that's interested in globalization, to be able to expand their reach a little further out. And so you kind of have that built-in marketing, the built-in kind of viral marketing that comes with an influx of thousands and thousands of people, and be able to give them a solution that works, and then have them kind of take it back, and that's where they can start to expand globally, as kind of we've started to do already.
Are there specific things that you expect or that you've already seen providers in Brazil asking you for, or ways of expanding their own portfolios specifically for the World Cup?
Well, I mean, at a very basic level, portability is a big issue there, and we need to be able to offer them a solution that can address that. So that's a kind of a foundation piece of what we need to do, is we need to be able to give them what they need. But if we can show them a way of of putting some value-added service connected to the World Cup, or connected to any other event that's happening in the respective country, they can then take that and build on their voice business and start to do value-added service and start to enhance their revenue stream in ways that they maybe never expected. So this is it. This is the opportunity, and you get that one chance to really have exposure to a large number of people, and we're putting them in a position to do that.
And I think just to wrap up, I think you mentioned really the one thing that is consistent across markets, across geographies, across industry segments, and that's the ability to add value, and whether you're a service provider, whether you're a hardware vendor, just be able to support your customers with additional value. So certainly sounds like Reeve is well on its way to helping your customers do that. Craig, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
It was a pleasure to be here. Thanks so much.
Video coverage of IT Expo is brought to you by Content Boost, the content marketing specialists. Amplify your sales today.